How you doing? How are you? Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. How are you? Listen, I am so excited. Go ahead and hit those comments for me. Let me know that you're here. I definitely want to know that you are joining me and that you're with me. Let me also, while I'm doing this, make sure that I can see who is on. Actually, I don't need to see who's on. Y'all just go ahead and comment so I know that you're here so that we can get this started. I am so excited. I got Instagram going on over here, although I may need to pause it because I'm not sure what's going on with it. But anyway, go ahead and let me know that you're here. Let me know who's here. Go ahead and chat with me in the comments so that I know that you're here. I want to share just a little bit about my thoughts on this subject. And I posted at the top of the day what we were going to be talking about. So I definitely want to hear your input as well. And I want to share my input and share just some thoughts around why are we even here? What is this conversation all about? And what does it really look like for us as single CEO, whatever that may be for you? So please come on and chat with me and let me know that you're here. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. And what is going on here is not working. So I'm going to get out of there just so that I know what's going on the Facebook side. Okay, there we go. I see you. Hey, Princess, how are you? So guys, listen. So I received a message today, and as I was looking through this video about this gentleman, this guy who, hey, Wanda, thank you for letting me know that you're here. This guy who has a show, a talk show. He is a described life coach and dating coach. And I think that's important for us to really talk about that title because, of course, we know that as a lot of people are making a pivot, they're making a pivot to coaching. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to be the first to say that if you're going to make a move into that arena, there's a level of responsibility that I think goes along with that. So let me set the stage for those of you who have not seen the show, the clip that has now gone viral. There are right at 2 million views, over 7,000 comments. And guys, let me just say the comments that I was reading, my heart was hurting. So many of you know that I just launched my journal, hashtag single CEO navigating money, biz, and dating. And let me just say really quick that when I say single CEO, that is every individual that is single, because you are the CEO of your destiny. You're the CEO of your purpose. You are the CEO. You get to make the choices on the situations that you're in, the situations you end up with. You are and have that level of authority and control. And so when I'm saying CEO, yes, maybe you're an entrepreneur. Maybe you are climbing the career ladder. Maybe you are trying to figure out what is next, right? So don't let that deter you from really allowing this journal to be a blessing to you and your life. Thank you so much, Esmeralda. And I would love to hear your input on this. So here's the setup, right? This guy has a show, and I've learned so much about his show in the course of just researching. We just had I'm talking piping hot conversation over on Clubhouse. And so I wanted to share some of that dialogue here as well. So this lady came on, and it's my understanding that she came on to say, or to ask the question of how do I, what do I need to do so that I don't find myself dating the same type of individual? She felt like she was attracting those individuals as an entrepreneur, that she was attracting individuals who were seeking her out. And as soon as she starts talking to them, they're like, okay, can you help me build my business? And I can say, amen, hallelujah to all of that, because like literally, When I meet somebody and they know that I do business coaching, or that's the first thing they ask is, can you coach me? Or will you show me how? Or can you? And I'm like, geez, I just want to be like the chick, right? I just want, I don't want all that. And so I get her question. So here's what he said. He very antagonistic. And he asked her a series of questions. What's floating around says that the question ended up being, or the way it was framed was, how do I attract an individual that's earning 6 figures or higher? How do I attract a 6-figure revenue earner? And he asked her, first question he asked her was, what is your size? So she said, a 4, I think she was a 2 or a 4. So the first point for me is, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to keep my commentary until I get you through the story. But the first point, I'm like, okay, so right, do you have to be a certain size to attract a 6-figure earner? Like, did I miss the memo on that? Because baby, I'm in love with me right now. But anyway, so that was the first question. The second question he asked her, which got even more offensive to me, was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your looks? And you can't select a 7. So immediately my question is, okay, she can't select a 7. Why not? And then depending upon where individuals are in their own, mindset, self-esteem, you're going to go one way or the other. I will tell you guys that as I watched this video, and it really just disturbed me on so many levels, that I saw her own self-esteem diminish in the course of this video. So she came back and she said, I'm a 5 when I wake up. And by the time I put my face on and my makeup and all of that, I'm a 6. And so his statement to her was, you are average at best, and you are going to die alone. You are average at best, and you are going to die alone. So I got to unpack this for just a few minutes because, some people have said, why are you doing this thing on singles and this journal? And why are you, there's a summit that we're going to do in February. This is why. There has been a wide range of commentary on single women, single men, but especially on single women and single African-American women. So I want to deal with my single Black women today, that we're too strong, we're too confident, we're too cocky, we're too this, we want too much, what you can't have this, that, and the other. And he basically told her that your thought of having a man as your husband, you're having a husband that earns 6 figures or more is impossible because you are average at best. And let me just say, she earns 6 figures. And so that was what her thought was like, how do I attract someone that's on the same and a level playing field as where I am? So I've got so many thoughts here. Thank you, Esmeralda, for joining in. You're right. That is horrible. And not only was it horrible, I have a lot of thoughts around it, but I want to start with, I want to hear in the comments, in the chat, what did you think about that? When you saw the video, what were your thoughts, right? And here's what I want to say, and I want to just break down 3 or 4 points, and then I'm going to dip out of here, right? The first of all is this. I want to encourage you to own what you desire, right? This gentleman has no right whatsoever to tell this woman that what she desires is outside of the realm of possibility. And even as myself sitting on the outside looking in, and if anybody can tell me how to reach this woman, I need to talk to her, because she needs to be now rebuilt and not walk away with this image and this motion and this thought and this notion that she can't have what she desires. I didn't see anything disrespectful about what she was requesting. I think there is certainly a conversation to be had on what are the norms for society and in dating, what we're attracting and what we're not attracting, right? What are the norms for, is it all about the physical being? Is it all about what somebody looks like? And I know we are certainly a very visual society, and we are certainly a society that, come on, how many of you doing online dating? Y'all, listen, yeah, you're gonna learn as you follow me. If you don't follow me already, I'm very transparent about my journey, because I can't help you if I don't know who I am and where I am. And I'm very confident in who I am and very open with my journey, right? So I've done and I do online dating, right? I got a profile on some of these sites, and I'm okay with that. But guess what we do? We swipe left or swipe right, depending upon how somebody looks in a profile. We read very little about what they put as their bio. And based on that, we make a decision. So yes, we are a very visual society. We are and many of us are attracted to so many different things. And I want to talk about what that looks like. But I want to go back just a little bit, because what I want to say is, do you think that this lady was incorrect or wrong in her desire to say, I want a man who matches, right? I'm earning six figures. And that really wasn't the purpose of her question, but let's delve into that, since that was the way he responded. Is it wrong for her to say, this is where I am in life, this is what I want in life, and this is who I'm looking for? Like, I really want to match up with somebody who meets me on a level playing field. Now, I need to add that his reasoning for telling her that she would not find this six-figure guy was, number one, he said she was average is best. Number two, he said, you have a child. She's a single mother with a 10-year-old son. And he said, because you have a child, you will not find this six-figure man. And then the third thing that he said was that he mentioned the baby daddy, and that the child's father was questionable in the son's life. So those were the reasons why he said it. Wanda, I think you're absolutely correct in that we are very visual, and we won't have a conversation with someone unless we are physically attracted to them. But I also believe, and I have to share, that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Have you seen couples and you're like, how did that work out, right? And I think that while we are physically attracted, I don't think one person can make the decision on what appears to be attractive and to totally disqualify every single man that's earning six figures or higher and say, you will die alone. And it's something about that phrase and him saying that really challenges me. Like, how can you declare that edict over her life? Now that's where I have to pause. Because let me just say this, single women, be very careful. So sometimes as single women, we want, when we're in different places and spaces, the opinion of other people. I always think that when you're married, that you got it a little different and a little better. And I know my married couples say, no, Michelle, that it's about the same, in that I think you've got a built-in confidant. And I think that's the way it should be. But I know that not all marriages are set up like that anyway. But I tend to think you've got a built-in confidant when you are married, right? That's a generality. I got that. Like, y'all don't don't hang me out to dry because of that. I get that, right? That's very general, but that's my assumption, right? And that's what I hope when I get married again, that it's my friend, that it's somebody that I genuinely like, Yeah, I want to love them, but I also want to like them. And I say that to say is that I'm challenged that this young lady went to this platform and allowed this individual, who, by the way, has a reputation for slaughtering people on his show, that was the voice that she allowed to speak into her desires. And I have to stop and put a pin here and say, there are those moments when you're lonely, when you are in between relationships, and relationships are kicking off, falling off, doing all kinds of things. And we become so vulnerable within our own selves. And so we seek opinions like, geez, what am I doing wrong? Right. And I did see a level of self-esteem and lack of self-confidence. And what hurt me so much in watching this discourse was like she almost became diminished. And first of all, if you ask me on a scale of 1 to 10, where do I think I am? I don't care. I'm going to be a 9 or a 10, right? And that's mindset. And it has nothing to do with what I see in the mirror. And so I think one of the bigger challenges is that this young lady, I think, suffered from a challenge in her mind. That there were some mindset things, that were some self-esteem issues. There were some challenges globally there that, unfortunately, she done went to the wrong source, right? She went. So I say this to say, be very careful who you allow to speak over your destiny. Be very careful who you allow insight into the inner the inner me. And be very careful on how you allow people to speak life into you. What he spoke over her was, you will die lonely. Like the audacity. There is something about that phrase and all of that when I tell you, it is absolutely rubbing me the wrong way on so many levels. Like, who are you to decide that she will die lonely? Who are you to decide that what she desires is not what she deserves? Who is he to decide? And let me just back this up and say this, because I mentioned this, that there were over 7,000 comments. 7,000. So it's important that I say, in those 7,000 comments, there were tons that agreed with him. Tons of my Black brothers that agreed and doubled down on this notion that, number one, she was not presentable enough to attract what she desired. Double down on the fact that she would die lonely, that she was a 5. I mean, whatever that was. And so, guys, let me just say this, because I see, even as we are dating, I see a frustration boiling between the African-American man and the African-American woman. I see a frustration that has so many undercurrents to it, that the African American man and the woman has to be so strong, and the man has to be this, and all of this stuff, and it is creating a divide in the Black family. It is, and I think that's what bothered me so much, is that this brother, and maybe I'm expecting him to take on a level of ownership that is not his to take. Listen, I get that. But there's a part of me that says that if we are not building each other, what the crap are we doing? Do we not? Somebody talk to me. Is there not a responsibility? Because listen, this carries on from, and I want to make this a racial discussion, but I do want to bring in the fact that there's been this divide between the Black family since the days of segregation. The husband pulled in one direction. The wife pulled over to Master's house. Right? There's been this divide since the days of slavery, and here we are, so many years later, and we are continuing to carry on that same moment and dialogue. When do we get better? When do we, and listen, here's what I understand, right? This is how he approaches social media, right? I tagged him. Listen, I'm ready to go. I've tagged him in this conversation. I'd love for him to get on a platform with me and let's talk about this, because here's what I want to say. First of all, what I've learned about him is he's been divorced twice. They say that, and I had some people who was a little bit familiar with him and said he has this very, very disrespectful to women of color, especially women of color who have a darker hue. So let me say this. And whatever you are doing, male or female, right? Because I don't want to make this about him. I want to make this about us in general. And what do we need to do to be better as a community? And listen, I want to encourage you, get the journal. Hashtag Single CEO, Navigating Money, Biz, and Dating. Here's the link. Get the journal. It will bless you. Do you hear me? Because I deal with all of this kind of stuff. And one of the things that I deal with is, how are we going to be better if we don't have or get to what we desire without healing from inner trauma? Because when I hear conversations like this and I hear someone's ability to be just flat out mean, then that tells me that whatever relationships he's had in the past, there's a level of healing that has never occurred. And one of the things that I realize is that some people have perpetually dated. They have perpetually been on this cycle of dating. They've went from high school to college to whatever, and they've never had this moment where they dated themselves. My dear friend Viv talked about that, and we shared that in Clubhouse about how important it is to get to know you. So many of us don't know who we are. We've never dated ourselves. We've never subscribed to this notion that I have value, that I'm worth every single bit of the man that I desire, and then how do I accomplish that? Right. And so sometimes it means that I got to stop in this dating cycle and say, how do I be healed? What childhood trauma, what inner trauma, childhood, relationship, mama issues, right? Am I taking from relationship to relationship to relationship? And I have yet to get in front of the mirror and say, oh, it's me. Or, oh, let me work on this. Let me work on that, right? Because so many of you are presenting yourselves as whole individuals, but you're still grieving from past relationships that failed. And so the thought that gets me is that if I can be so demeaning to my sister, if I can be so demeaning to another woman, then what am I holding? And somebody challenged me on Clubhouse, and they said, well, he's just as demeaning to men. And they gave me the example of what he said. And there was this guy who, forgive me for the context, but I'm going to share it because I want to bring it in here to show why this felt deeper than what it should have been. The guy was talking about, there was a whole conversation about penis size, right? And so he was very demeaning to this guy in that he said, that's your whole problem is, the size, whatever. So, and so a guy brought this up in Clubhouse and said, so what's the difference? Like he dogged this guy out. He didn't tell that guy, you're going to die lonely because you got to, he didn't. And then they brought up he didn't tell that person you're going to die. It's the whole thought process that I am telling another individual that because, whatever. And he said, you're just average, you're just an average chick. right? And you need to go find an average dude. And so then let me just say this. What is your perception of what you desire? Because when I thought about it and I'm like, okay, so what are we talking about here? I have, we have this perception that to say I earn six figures, whatever that means to, any individual, to the simple iteration is it's $8,333 a month, period. Right. But so then we put all this stuff around it, right? White collar, clean cut, this, that. But guys, I know plumbers who earn six figures. I know welders who earn way into six figures, right? Six figures is just $100,000 plus. And you could be anywhere in that spectrum from $100,000 to $999, right? You could be anywhere in that spectrum. And so I want to make sure that we are not putting all of these expectations, even in our dating experience, that makes it so difficult, right? But here's the thing. And I want to hear from you guys, right? Here's the thing. You have the right to choose what you desire. I could drop the mic right there. You get to choose what you want. You get to choose what that you get to choose. Like, I can't tell you that that's not what you should desire. Nobody can. You get to own what you desire. And I'm going to tell you that the freedom that has become so amazing to me is that I get to choose the life I desire. I get to design it. I get to figure out what it looks like. I get to choose. I have guys that when we start dating, they'll say, oh, you're too busy. Well, no, you're right, maybe, because I'm not sitting around twiddling my thumbs, waiting on you. I am living my life. And that's what I encourage every single individual that is single. Live your life. Be very clear about what you want. Be very clear about what, in the words of Dr. Tracy Timberlake, whom I love so dearly, what you're not available for. But don't allow yourself to be pushed into a corner, to be demarginalized and demoralized because of what you desire. I didn't see anything wrong with her request. Now, if there's a guy on here and you want to bring me a different and tell me what I'm missing about this, I want to hear it. I want to see it. I tell me, what am I missing? I invited a few to join me on the panel. If you're still around and you want to be on the panel, let me know. Because what I have not heard, yes, her self-esteem. Yes, she should not have went to this source. But did she deserve to receive that level of just flat out meanness, rudeness, right? And who is he to define what attractiveness? I am so unattractive to some people, and I'm okay with that. I tell, as I'm coaching other women and coaching single women in this process, Halle Berry was single, right? She is, to me, one of the most beautiful women in the world. But for whatever reason, she's single, or at least she was. I don't know where she is now. There's so many beautiful women that are single. There's so many beautiful women that are where they are. And so who am I or anyone else to say what this woman deserves? Thank you so much, Jonathan Hambrick. No one deserves that level of disrespect. I absolutely agree. I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think she is owning the realness of where she is. And based on what I now know is her original question, come on, Jonathan, we could have a whole discussion about entrepreneurship and dating, because that then brings in a completely different element into the process. That brings in a different element that, on one of my profiles, my dating profile, I've got on there, can you match my heart and my hustle? Listen, can you match my heart and my hustle? because I realized that my heart is this big. Like, if I could just bless everybody and help every business and give them what they need, I am telling you, I'm going to own a bank. I have to own a bank because I want to be on that magnitude, an extreme blessing to every single business owner that is really, really, really. And I know that as African American businesses, we don't get the opportunities that others receive. And a part of it is in financing. So I need to own a bank. It's just that simple, right? And so my heart is like this. Like, my heart is here, my hustle is just as big, right? That is who I am. So I need somebody. Does that mean that my boo needs to be an entrepreneur? No, I ain't asking him to be an entrepreneur. But can he understand where I am and the challenges? And can he, here's the big thing for me. When I come home, I just want to be, my family calls me Muffin. When I come home, I just want to be Muffin, right? I don't want to solve world hunger. I don't want to have to, oh my God, we got to figure, I don't want any of that. When I come home, that is my place of my sanctuary. That is my place of peace. That is my ultimate joy. There is something for me about my home. My home has to always be this place that creates this positive, creative energy for me. I don't like confusion in my home. I don't like drama in my home. I don't like arguing in my home. My home has to be a place of peace. I say all that to say that's what I need, right? And so it doesn't mean that it's, he has to be an entrepreneur. I think one of my favorite examples is I look at Oprah and Stedman, right? Look at their relationship. Oprah is just free to be the icon that she is. She is amazing. And Stedman is just as comfortable and free being exactly who he is in her life. Candy and, what's Candy Burris's husband? Jay John. I'm messing up his name. I love their relationship, right? There's that freedom to just be. And so nobody can tell you what you should expect. Jonathan, I think you're right. The grind is never ending. And the time is absolutely limited. So I just wanted to come in and share a little bit about this. This was so disturbing to me. Todd, thank you. Well, I don't know what I called him. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Yes. So y'all get it, right? Candy and Todd, like I love what they've built. I love to see where, they have this respectful relationship of each other and they're able to make it work. Does that mean they don't have problems? No. Does that mean listen, that doesn't mean any of that. It means that they're learning how to work through them. My daughter said something to me. So let's talk about, as I get ready to wrap up, actually, let's talk about really quickly, what should there be from an expectation, right? Again, if you haven't got the journal, be sure that you click on Get the Journal. It will bless you. That journal also gives you registration to our #Single CEO Summit happening in February. We've got an amazing lineup of speakers, amazing lineup of topics. We're going to talk about, do you need a prenup? We're going to talk about how to protect your assets as you're moving into that relationship of marriage now. We're going to talk about some of these things, the self-esteem, the self-confidence. We're going to talk about what if he doesn't believe in the way that you believe. Apostle Anya has done an amazing commentary about how to deal with the P. Yes, she dropped the mic on that one, right? So it's all in there. So make sure you get your copy of the #Single CEO Journal. It will bless you beyond measure. Here's what I want to share. So, and I'm going to close on this. My daughter and I was dating this guy, and I kept trying to make him better. Okay. me, the fixer, kept trying to make him better, right? I saw so much potential. He had so much potential to be and do this, that, and the other. I just wanted to help him. That's why I said I get this young lady, because I now don't ask me to nothing, right? I wanted to help him be better. The problem was he didn't want to be better. He was extremely content in the place that he was in. He had so many, like, even great business ideas, great this, great that. He was in a financial challenge, and I saw everything he needed to get out of it was right there. But guess what? He had no desire to execute upon it. He was content to go home, to go to work, come home, and then sit on the sofa and watch TV for the rest of the night. There was no grind. There was no hustle. There was no, how do I make it better? So let me say this, while I don't necessarily ascribe that I need an entrepreneur, I do need somebody who wants to build. Whatever we're building, however we're building, right? It's important to me that I'm building a legacy, and I'm building on a foundation of this is what my kids and my kids' kids and these generations, right, will have. It's important to me to build. So my daughter pulled me aside one day, and we were going through, and I was like, we were in the middle of an argument, and I think she knew it, but was trying to pretend like she didn't know it. And she said, Mom, let me just say this. You are too old to date potential. At this stage of their life, they need to have their stuff together. So let me just say this for you guys. Know what stages of life you are in and what you can manage and deal with. And only you know that. I'm not here to tell you what that should look like for you. What I am saying is be very well aware. There's a level of self-awareness that you need to bring to the table when you are dating. And that self-awareness starts with the renewal of your mind, getting healed from your past, dating yourself, and being so free in who and what you are that you're good, right? I enjoy the space that I'm in. Yes, I desire to be married. Yes, I desire my boo. Yes, I desire all of that. But I'm so loving the space that I'm in. I'm so loving the moment that I have. I'm so loving the freedom that I have. And when he shows up, I'm willing, I'm ready to open up some of these spaces to him, but I'm okay. And so I want to encourage you to be self-aware, to turn that mirror inward and do that work, so that you know where you are, to find your own healing, so that you don't have to ask anybody, what's this, what's that. Listen, I've met guys when I first divorced, my kids were 7 and 9. I had guys who would not date me. And you know what? That's okay. You just not the one, boo. Keep it moving. That's how you got to think. I have guys today who won't date me. I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too whatever. You're just not the one, boo, and I'm good. Keep it moving. Like, I'm so okay. And that's where you've got to be. So if there's one person or whoever that is that comes along, that just means you haven't found that individual. That's the yin to your yang, right? That's what it's gotta be. And it only begins to, you understand that when you become intimately familiar with yourself. Date you. If you've not dated you and you've been through this roller coaster of relationships, stop. Take some time and date you. Take some time. Listen, I take myself on trips. I take myself. I know Wanda is, she's a vacation. I love it. I take myself out. I buy things for myself, right? And I share, even when I'm dating, guess what? And Jonathan, we'll have to have this conversation, or whoever the other men are that are on this, because I'm always curious. If I'm with you, it's not because I need you. I don't. To me, the beautiful thing is if I'm with you, it's because I want to be. It's because there's something about you that puts a smile on my face. There's something about the way you smell, about the way you make me feel. There's something about you that speaks to who I am, and I want to be with you. Right? I don't need you for nothing. I'm good. I don't need you, but I want you. And that is what I think should count. So I say, date yourself. I say, own every bit of what you desire. Walk freely in that. And don't allow anybody to tell you that you're going to die alone because of what you desire. Right? My daughter said in that moment, she said, you're too old to date potential. And I realized that for me, I don't have the time. Dr. Tracy said this, in the way she said this, it was very well, it so expressed very well how I feel. I don't have the time to coach you up to the mindset that I'm already walking in. Because my mindset is on this plane that if I want it, I'm good. If I want to buy this or that or whatever, I'm free. If I want to have a housekeeper, I'm not getting ready to argue with anybody about hiring a housekeeper or a nanny for I'm not getting ready to argue with anybody about that kind of stuff. And if that bothers you, then that's a mindset issue for you that has absolutely nothing to do with me. And I don't want to coach you up to that right now. I want you to already be in that space in your mind where you celebrate, and we celebrate each other. We build together, and we allow each other to walk in the places and spaces that we are purposed to walk in. So guys, listen, there's so much more to say. There's so much more to this conversation. I can't unpack it all. I was trying to keep this at 30 minutes because I don't want to lose anybody in the audience from this. But here's what I want to leave you with. You are the captain. You're that CEO of your destiny and your purpose. You get to choose, and don't let anybody shame you into believing that what you desire is not important and that what you desire is not valid. Let me today validate and put my stamp of approval that what you desire is well within. Now, here's what I would have liked for the young man, the guy, his name is Kevin Samuels, to do. If you don't think that somebody's in a position today to receive that, then coach them. That's what coaches do, right? We show empathy. We help you understand how to get there. So maybe she's in the wrong circles. Maybe she hasn't developed her network, because your network is your net worth. Maybe she is hanging in the wrong places. Let's coach her up and help her realize what it takes to attract that which she desires. Because maybe she, hanging out in the wrong places, or, in the wrong, doing the wrong thing, maybe, or if you're like me, when my kids were 7 and 9, guess where I hung out? PTA meetings, right? The cheerleading camps, soccer camps, right? And guess what? All of those dads, they were married. But I was a mom first. I was a parent first. So my hanging out places was where moms hung out. Moms with kids hung out, right? And I'm okay with that. I was okay with that. And somebody said, why'd you never remarry? Or why haven't you remarried yet? Because I was so focused in that period of time on raising my kids and building my business. And I hung out with my kids. I was the soccer mom, right? And I'm okay with that. So that is how we coach people into their next level, is that we help them know how to attain even those things that they may not be ready for. We show them how to get ready. Get that journal. It's going to bless you. If you're married and you know somebody is single, make it a stocking stuffer for them, right? Help them, bless them, because I am telling you, this conversation is so needed. And I do not want another brother or sister to demean and debase each other. We have to build each other so that we can together grow the communities we desire, build the family structure that we look at so that there is a legacy of what Black excellence looks like. I love y'all dearly. Thank you so much for sharing with me. If you've got anything to add, by all means, just drop it in. I'll do this probably again next week. Hopefully a better topic, but you know what? This topic hit right where it needed to, and I wanted to make sure that we addressed it. God bless you all. Have an amazing day. Hashtag single. Let me put the link back in there because I do want y'all to get that journal. It will bless you. We've got so much in store for that, for the summit. It is going to bless you. There it is. Bit.ly, bit.ly/single CEO journal. It is case sensitive. So that CEO needs to be all caps. Y'all be blessed. I love y'all. Thank you. Petra, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Petra. Thank you so much. Man, this has been an amazing topic. Thank you so much, cousin. How are you? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Man, oh man. Thank you all so much. God bless you all. Yay, I love it. I love it. I love it. Man, we got work to do. So let's build our community one brick at a time, one person at a time, one family unit at a time. There's work to be done. God bless you.